What's up, everybody? It's that time of week again. What time? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of Falls Count Anywhere. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? I am your gracious, humble host, Robbie Diesel, and welcome to Falls Count Anywhere. This is a YouTube series dedicated to all you wrestling fans, you wrestling smarks out there. I'm going to be capping the week that was in WWE, the hottest stories and storylines going forward. First, I do have to give you guys an apology. Your boy has been a little under the weather, so of course this episode is a little late, but damn it, I'm feeling better and I'm doing it for the people. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with this week's Monday Night Raw. We found out that none other than the New Day, they're going to be hosting WrestleMania 33, which is a pretty big moment for those dudes, man. They put in hella work over the last year and are easily the most over act on Monday Night Raw right now, and possibly in the WWE as a whole. So it only makes sense to put them right front and center on the show of shows, and I can only imagine what kind of shenanigans they're going to be getting into. Moving forward with the tag team division, we saw Sheamus and Cesaro square off against Big Cass and Enzo on Raw for the #1 contendership to the tag team titles. It was a pretty decent match, lots of back and forth action, but we saw Enzo and Cass go over, of course, and they are now the new #1 contenders, and they will challenge for the tag titles at Fastlane. Enzo and Cass, I really like. I like them. I think they have a little ways to go, but they're a great first test for Gallows and Anderson in regards to defending the tag titles. Of course, they had to defend them in the obligatory rematch against Sheamus and Cesaro, and they came out on top that way. But I think Cass and Enzo have a little more momentum going for them now, and we'll see exactly how that turns out at Fastlane. I'm expecting Gallows and Anderson to retain, though. Kevin Owens cut an amazing promo to kick off Raw, actually, and it did its job. I'm pretty excited to see where they go from here in regards to the Owens versus Goldberg match at Fastlane. I know, or at least I think I know, that Goldberg eventually will still go over in capturing the Universal title, only to go on to lose it to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. But in this promo, Kevin Owens talked about, being aggressive and being violent, and talked about how he knows that Goldberg matches tend to get a little stale or a little tougher for Goldberg the longer they go on. So his strategy is to make the match last as long as possible and potentially gaining an upper hand on Goldberg. It would be awesome to see I don't want to say homegrown WWE talent, because we know Kevin Owens has been busting his butt on the indies for the better part of 15 years. But it would be awesome to see, a homegrown wrestler, a professional wrestler, go over a sports entertainment like Goldberg. If not go over, then at the very least give him his biggest challenge since he's come back. I'm rooting for Owens, but all signs are pointing towards Goldberg capturing the Universal title at Fastlane. Go back and watch that promo if you haven't seen it, though. It's probably one of the best ones in the last 6 months, easily. It looks like we are definitely on track to see some sort of multi-woman title match at WrestleMania. And I was hoping they would save the Bayley win for WrestleMania, just to kind of break Charlotte's pay-per-view streak. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to see Sasha Banks interfere in some capacity at Fastlane. It's going to end up costing Bayley the title, and when that happens, we're going to see Sasha immediately be thrust into this title rivalry here to spice it up. Look forward to a 3-way women's match at WrestleMania, but we also have Nia Jax in the shadows, and she's starting to mention title shots as well. So I'm thinking we're going to see a triple threat, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fatal 4-way either. Braun Strowman He is a freaking made man after Monday. He main evented Raw, which for two big athletes, that doesn't typically happen because the pacing of the match is a bit slower. It's a little more methodical. They tried to amp up the pace of this match at the very beginning with Big Braun actually kipping up on Big Show, which was incredible. He's too big to be able to move that well. I was really engrossed in this match just to see the psychology and the story that they were telling, which was good. It was a battle of the bulls, two big, giant bruiser types. Big Show looks great. He's moving well. In the end, though, we saw Braun Strowman go over. He ends up beating Big Show with not one, but two power slams. And although he kind of struggled to keep Big Show up, getting him up and over his shoulders, he made it almost look effortless. Like, super easy. Scary easy, in fact. Braun is on a collision course with Roman Reigns, headed towards Fastlane. And honestly, I would like for this to be the time that WWE pulls the trigger on, again, defeating Roman Reigns clean in the middle of the ring and letting Braun eventually move towards challenging Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for the Universal title. That's what I want to see. If you're going to build Braun up, don't build him up and have him lose at Fastlane to Roman Reigns. That would be a complete and total waste. If you're going to make him out to be a monster among men, he has to be that. And he has to go into Fastlane and he has to demolish Roman Reigns. And then he has to start demolishing actual competition. No more squash matches. No more beatdowns of Sami Zayn. None of that. Give him actual ranked high mid-card rivals and opponents and let him beat them. He doesn't have to beat them handily, but let him beat them, build him up, let him go against Lesnar at SummerSlam, and let him take the Universal title from Lesnar. I think by doing that, WWE will have created the next great wrestling monster heel. You're welcome. All right, let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown kind of opened on a really dreary, somber note. Naomi's knee injury is a little more serious than what was led on, and that led to her having to relinquish her SmackDown Women's title to kick off the show. It's a big, giant bummer because, again, I'm a big fan of Naomi, and I hate to see her have to relinquish the title so fast, especially considering that she's really just coming back from injury. She had a leg injury prior to returning, and to have to leave again under such short circumstances has to be quite a drag for her. And then on top of that, to have Daniel Bryan be the person to ask her to relinquish the title put kind of an extra emotional tip on that. Hurt my feelings a bit, guys. Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch ended up having a match for the SmackDown Women's title. Pretty back and forth see, and Alexa Bliss ended up coming out on top. So this begins her second reign as the SmackDown Women's Champion, and good for her. Good for her. She's doing excellent heel work. I am curious, though, to see where they're going to go from this because the women's division on SmackDown right now is wide open. Anybody could step up and challenge for that title now. Natalya and Nikki Bella have been having a pretty decent series of matches, and this past week on SmackDown was no exception. They had a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was glorious. I think it may have been one of the best women's Falls Count Anywhere matches I've seen, and there's only been a couple in the entire history of the WWE. There's lots of action, lots of false finishes, near falls. It was great. Now, at the end of this match, though, we saw a little bit of a tease of a match at WrestleMania that I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes. But we saw a run-in with Nikki Bella and Maurice again, which led to Maurice coming out and attacking Nikki Bella and allowing Natty to sneak in for the win. There was a number one contenders match for the WWE title and lots of competitors. The main guys, of course, Cena, AJ Styles, The Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Luke Harper, all of which saw plenty of shine in this match. It came down to Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose kind of setting up their rivalry. We know that Baron Corbin is on a collision course with Ambrose, and it will be for that Intercontinental title, more than likely at WrestleMania. That match for sure is happening. And as I alluded to earlier, we saw a moment where John Cena eliminated The Miz, only for The Miz to come back in and eliminate John Cena later. Now, if you've been reading any of the dirt sheets, you know that this has been a rumored match for a while now. There's talk of a big mixed tag team blow-off match with John Cena and Nikki Bella facing off against Miz and Maurice. There's a possibility that this match could have Nikki's career on the line as well. So it's interesting to see. We still have a couple weeks left for them to build towards this, but I am expecting to see that match get announced for WrestleMania sometime really, really soon. In addition to Baron Corbin versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. The end of the Battle Royal saw Luke Harper and AJ Styles both eliminate each other. So there's still no clear-cut number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. It's going to be interesting to see how they book this going forward, because AJ Styles still legitimately has a stake to challenge for a rematch, as does John Cena, of course. Luke Harper showed that he does belong near the top of the card, and I love that SmackDown takes these kind of lower mid-card superstars that would be toiling in obscurity otherwise and turning them into superstars. It's great. Luke Harper is a long time coming for him. I think the World Heavyweight title might be a bit crowded for him for right now, but after he finishes in this scene in particular, maybe he gets bumped back down and feuds with Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles is definitely, I'm almost 100% sure, going to be involved in the main event scene at WrestleMania. He will be in some way, shape, or form challenging for the title, or at least contendership for the title. He had an interesting exchange with Shinsuke Nakamura on Twitter, though. Nakamura did an interview with Yahoo Sports Japan, in which case he said that AJ Styles, if he didn't have a opponent for WrestleMania 33, and if the opportunity presented himself, he would love to fill that spot. AJ Styles, of course, said that he would be main eventing WrestleMania. This took place before the Battle Royal happened. But it would be absolutely amazing to see Nakamura and Styles at WrestleMania. I think those two in particular could put on a match to rival the greatness of Steamboat versus Savage at WrestleMania. I think that they have chemistry that is off the charts in the ring, and if you give them something to feud over, a title or a number one contender for a title, anything like that, they have the ability to put on, if not the greatest, one of the greatest matches at WrestleMania of all time. Alright, dudes, that's it. That's this week's episode of Falls Count Anywhere. Real brief update. Sorry to make it so in and out. Real quick blips there. But again, your boy has been a little under the weather. The voice is cracking. I gotta rest it. If you like this video, though, go ahead and throw that thumbs up in there. Like this video. Throw your comments down below, man. Let me know what you think about WrestleMania. Let me know what you think about Braun Strowman. Let me know what you think about Styles versus Nakamura at WrestleMania. Is that the match we've been waiting for? Let me know. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. You get a new video every single week. We usually drop Falls Count Anywhere on Thursdays. We will be back at our regular time next Thursday. All new content. We're going to be reaching not only WWE, but we got some ROH news. We got some New Japan news. News from all around the wrestling world. So make sure you stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I, again, am your humble host, Robbie Diesel. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Let me know what you think about everything. All right, dudes. Thanks for watching so very much. I'm out.